everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci.
Behold his mighty hand.
Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
Just want to manage expectations.
Weird.
This is the worst.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you this evening?
I haven't seen that opening in a while. I love it.
Even if it's not Thursday.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Friday night. Oh, man, I said, what an idiot.
It's a special
Friday Night Live edition. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome. Thank you for watching us. And my esteemed guests, Mr. JC Tex Vaughn, Mr. Mark Haynes. Good to see you guys. I'm your host, teen sensation Billy Tucci. Saying I'm having trouble streaming on the Facebook. Let me go on the Facebook. I have a lot of trouble with the Facebook with this. And let's go.
Why is that?
I don't know, because when I do stream on my page on Facebook, it automatically makes the audience locked, custom. Like right now, it says I was live, and I'm not live. Your video is blocked and can't be viewed by others. I guess that
seems
must be
counterproductive.
It's just ponderous. My gosh. Oh, well. Hello, everybody out there in Twitter land. We're on Twitter, and we are on YouTube. And I want to make so tonight's show, and we'll be joined by the fair Deborah. She was at the office. I don't know if she's going to stream from the office or stream from home, because I know she got home, but I know she's going back.
Don't cross the streams.
Yes, don't cross the streams, everybody. So let me see if I can edit this. Hang on. Can I edit this on the Facebook? Let's see. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I'm done. Just had it with Facebook. It annoys me. Hey, Dr. Brian Blevins is on. What's up? Hey, JC Vaughn. Why no invite for me? What's up with that, JC?
Ooh, yeah. What's up, JC?
Dr. Blevins.
Now, well, as I replied to him, you'd have to take that up with the host.
Oh.
Well, the host is
why don't
AI.
why don't you have the doctor come on about once I hear from my wife, I will have to bug out and pick her up from the station. So maybe he can fill in while I'm gone.
Sure. All right. If you want to send him the link, that'd be great.
Robert Fraggett nailed it right there. Facebook gets worse with every improvement in quotation marks that they make.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Robert, I just wanted.
You got to go on camera. I'm tired of seeing your little store.
Hang on a second. I got to say something to Robert. I have worn my Overstreet's fan shirt twice since you gave it to me, both times receiving lots of compliments and several strange looks in comic shops. So, Robert, thank you very much.
I saw it when Jeff showed it to me in San Diego, and I was extremely jealous because that's where he and I met, working on Overstreet's fan magazine many years ago. And I had a shirt very similar to that, long since disappeared.
Yeah,
I never got a fan shirt. Thanks, Robert Fraga.
Speaking of fans, Billy, I know we're on early this evening, and rather because you have to pick up your son tonight.
Yes, he's flying in.
From where?
Matthew's flying in from Buffalo, New York.
From Buffalo.
Yep. So he took the car from Erie Penn to Buffalo. He's flying in.
He's not flying in directly from Erie.
No, there is
no opportunity to stop by Villapiano's.
Nope. Which is out by the airport, Mark.
By the airport.
I know. Wasn't that our fan?
Yes. So anyway, so Matthew has it's my nephew's birthday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming in for that, but he also has a private lesson with his private coach for wrestling. So he wants to do that and get a little in shape for the coming season that he'll be doing, and just to try some things with his coach, So, anywho, I just want to say, right, tonight we're going to focus on AI, artificial intelligence, Mr. Haynes.
Yes.
But I want to say, and there's been a lot of talk about it throughout the comics and film industry, entertainment industry at large.
A hot topic.
Novels are being written, I heard. People are typing in. Tell me a story of 3 guys sitting online, streaming live, when all of a sudden one of them is murdered. On live.
And just as you said that, here comes the cat.
See?
You'd say, Right.
But the thing is that 2 of them, there is someone that suspects, old beans is like, wait, a detective is watching, and the detective suspects it's one of them. But he has an alibi. Who could it be? And then you could type that in, and AI could write you a novel on that?
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things about it, that this is why this is a great topic, because Mark wrote a great Substack column, and we really should put the link to that in the.
Oh, I wish I put it in the description, Mark. If you could put it in the.
Which one are you talking about, Jeff?
The one where you talk about whether you like it or not. It's you got to recognize it.
The one that AI wrote.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It really makes the point for those of us who are ethically opposed to it in the creation of comic books.
Yes. And I want to make a disclaimer. Yeah, Jeff, sorry.
Go ahead with your disclaimer.
I want to make a disclaimer to get that out of the way. I do not in any way support AI art in comics being artificial intelligence generated art. I see a bunch of comics. I see a bunch of covers. I'm saying this right now. I do not endorse that. I do not condone it. Actually, I'm saying it right here. I condemn it. That said, I see a bright future for us, and perhaps the only opportunity for us as creators as content creators to actually get our IPs out there in film, in television, or to make movies or TV shows, if you will. And that is through AI. And that's what I want to discuss it with you guys about. And my ideas and my plans.
I think there's 2 distinct issues here. And that's one, the use of AI as a tool in your toolbox as a storyteller. And the second one is the use of AI that's going to create stories for the future. These are 2 separate things. While those of us who have learned how to do this can successfully use this as a tool. I'll give you my, for instance.
Sure.
So one of the treatments I wrote recently and sent off to my manager.
Yeah, love all 3 of them.
Yeah, but the one in question he has in front of some pretty interesting people. And here's how I used AI. I wrote the treatment. Mark wrote this great column that I found very, very thought-provoking. I went to Jim Shooter's memorial service and ended up next to a college-level biology teacher who was in charge of teaching the faculty how people are using AI. And both of us took the viewpoint of it doesn't, and which is sort of Mark's column, it doesn't matter whether you're for it or against it. You have to understand it. And I went into ChatGPT. I wrote up, analyze the following text based on these criteria. And I was very specific about what I wanted. I said, do these characters appear enough? Do all the storylines conclude? All the stuff that I would ask myself as an editor. And it produced some pretty good results. Then it suggested some quote unquote fixes. The checks it did were wonderful. The fixes it suggested were horrible. And if I was reading them, as I can tell when people submit AI written stuff, and it tends to go with people. It's like you're talking to somebody who thinks saying more words makes you more effective. So you can spot.
I've had supervisors like that.
But as a tool for making you think, it can be wonderful. And I don't think that should be lumped in together. Where I'm concerned about the future is the people who don't know how to draw like you do, that don't know how to design like Mark does and how to write like Mark does, and don't know how to write like I do or edit like I do. And they'll just take this crap that it spits out.
Yeah. There's a concept, at least, you know, in the people that I work, you know, and talk about this with in the entertainment business in Los Angeles, which is where I'm based. And you know, everybody's kind of not sure where it's going to go. The one thing we are sure about is that the corporate kind of, I don't want to call them overlords, but, you know, the corporate studios, corporate entertainment are most definitely looking at this, and they're going to use it. And one of the things that at least amongst the writers and creators is that, you know, and my position is, it's like we have to be as familiar with these tools. They have to be we have to be as familiar with them as Microsoft Word and Photoshop and all the other tools that we use presently. If we're going to make an argument about why a company should hire us to do it the way we do it versus hiring, you know, somebody to prompt an AI to create this output, because the one thing that the AI doesn't have, it doesn't have taste or nuance, and it doesn't know what's going to move an audience. And that's still going to require humans in the process. And so that's where I think, and these guys that they're doing the hiring and, you know, buying of the properties that we create are going to, they still want somebody to talk to, you know, because they still have to have somebody to give notes to. You know what I mean? Right. And Jeff knows the note process very well. But that's why I think it's still, you know, it's a tide that can't be stopped, so we have to surf it.
100%. And just real quick, I just want to super chat that was Debbie who came up and interrupted that she's heading back to the office, so she'll join us in a few minutes because my office is a mile away. Yeah. Thank you for the $2 flashcards. Yeah, nice. Look at that.
Well, it's you know,
play money.
Play money.
Yeah, it's just, I am a comic book creator after all.
Super chat Stealth XI. It's an excellent name too. Well, so I'm going to share something, and this is what has me. Oh, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? What are you drinking, Mark?
Me?
Yeah.
This is a little bit of bourbon.
There you go. All right.
This is just, you know, there was that much left in the bottle, and I'm straightening up the counter in there, and I'm like, well, I don't have to keep this bottle here. I can get rid of it.
Yeah, let's just get that out of here. Let's get that out of here. I'm going to share this trailer for a thing. It's an AI-generated anime trailer. And once I show this, I'm going to tell you where I was going, where Jeff and I had this conversation, and you and I texted a little bit, Mark. But let's check this out, everyone. This is completely 100% AI. No, with no sound.
Meeting with foreign intelligence.
I'm going to speed it up.
I'm in, but their net runners have already been taken offline.
Well, shit.
You know what my turn's on, mister. Let's drop the act and get to business, shall we?
I told you I didn't trust her at all when we brought her into the fold.
That's really not for you to say, is it? For all we know, she's still on mission.
Well, I'm not going to wait around to find out.
Anyway.
If we do this, we're coloring way outside the lines here.
Just stick to the plan.
You have no idea what's coming.
Deadly.
Watch, this is Alpha.
Anyway, I guess we get the idea, right? And it just goes on and on. But real cool. Look at that. I mean, really.
Mission as quickly as possible.
You'll die here, fool.
Possibility. I mean, that guy has 6 fingers, you know, if you look, right? Does he? 1,
there you
2,
go, yeah.
3, 4. Oh, no, he's got, 5.
If you think that's yeah. Was that,
whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Mission complete.
Anywho, so what I was thinking about doing, and I got very excited about it, so much so that the other night, I didn't sleep the other night. And primarily it was because as Debbie says, I get pregnant with an idea, and there's something that I'd like to look into. And as Mark had said, it's coming, right? The tidal wave is coming of AI. And we might as well learn to ride it, right? To surf it. If I'm thinking of this idea, I don't know how many other people are thinking the same exact idea, is that I see AI as a tool, right, that can enable us to bring our true version, our true vision of what our comic book could be.
Billy, let's talk about the origin of this thought for a moment, because this is really important.
Yes. Okay.
One of the things that your fans are pretty well aware of, but they don't know the full scope of, is how long you have been working to bring She out as a movie.
Yeah.
They know about the Tia Carrera thing, but they don't know about the near misses. They don't know about you getting strung along for a decade. They don't know about any of this stuff. And as that was going on, and as your fan and editor and co-writer and She collector, you remember me going, ugh.
Yeah.
The more you described about what this particular producer wanted, and I'm like, why did that person even buy the option on your property? Why not just make up something totally different?
100%. So here I was, Mark, having these conversations. Steve, I wish Steve was here, but he might come in. He's busy. He can't commit to it. But Billy's adventures in Hollywood. I should make a whole book on this, or something. Is that, I mean, Mark, I would have conversations with people. One of them was the producers of the Mortal Kombat films.
Yeah.
And when I told them at the end of, now, granted, I did come up with this story in the early 90s, early 90s, the dawn of the 90s, if you will. We're at the end of She, Way of the Warrior, the first story arc. Anna is drafted into this shadow war that's existed for 1,000 years. She's a soldier in this war. Her primary mission is to kill the man that murdered her family, right? This man who envisions himself as a samurai and lives the life of a samurai as a samurai would, with samurai ideals, etc., etc. She finally gets to him after killing a bunch of his men, battles, etc., losing so much,
killing her way to him.
Yes, to him. Thank you. Yeah. And there was the final battle between the two, and he beats her. Right. Yeah. And at the moment where she surrenders, that she is just broken, right? And he's about to bring the sword down on her to kill her. And this is how I was, again, in my early 20s. I'm a 22-year-old, whatever guy, and a lone cherry. It's April, of course, and this one cherry blossom falls, right? And then more start cascading down. They start littering the grounds of Arashiyama, which is his castle, this Japanese type castle atop of his building in Manhattan, where all his men are dead, where this massive battle just took place. And he ends up seeing and coming to the realization that all of that, he's ruined this woman's life and all these men's lives because of his notion of what samurai should be, right? And he realizes that this woman was an innocent, again, who was drafted into this war. And what he does is that he ends up letting her go, letting her live. And not only that, he ends up breaking his sword, which is the worst thing for a samurai, the greatest dishonor for a samurai, and confessing to all of her crimes, to all the crimes that happened throughout this story, the murders, things like that, thus giving her a second chance at life, making her reborn. And I told this story, and I think it still has a lot of value to it, that you don't see that. And Mark, I'm sitting there with the Mortal Kombat producers in their office with these giant statues that were in the movie and all this. Yeah. And the one guy says, wait a minute. And, and Mark, I don't have to tell you how they are. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that she doesn't kill Arashi at the end? I'm like, no, I just explained. He goes, wait, she doesn't win. Arashi beats her, and that's how it ends. I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, that's unacceptable.
Okay.
This guy called me for a meeting after he read my books.
Yeah.
The books are. So did he read because it's after the Way of the Warrior came out. It's like 97.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, And then another one we had, they want to change Anna's name to her anglicized name, her last name, because it's just too Japanese. This story is just too Japanese.
Ishikawa is too Japanese. Is that what they were saying?
Yeah. It's just the story's just too Japanese, even though it takes place in New York, of Japanese people in New York City.
Oh my God. Who would have
This
thought?
are things that I would deal with. And Jeff has, whether he likes it or not, it's been my punching bag for the past 30 years of me just complaining. And I see something like this that I could say, She Return of the Warrior, right?
Yeah.
She Way the Warrior. Let's just take Return of the Warrior. And I could take the Return of the Warrior series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Aikyo. I have all the digital files, right? We have the script. We have Steve's script. We have the storyboards of the comic. And can't I, at least maybe not now, but in a few years, can't I load that into a program and that will act as my storyboards and have them animate each panel as a scene, as a shot?
Most importantly, and Rant Market in the chat was asking about this. And the whole thing is his phrase, you're priming the pump with your art. It's going to look like you did this.
It would be our art.
Yes. It takes your art, fills in the blanks rather than it's generating the concepts.
And there are things now already. I don't think it's actually going to be years. I think it's going to be within a year, probably.
Yeah, that's what I said.
If not sooner, where, I mean, already, there's a noted VFX guy out here in Hollywood named Adam Mojo Leibowitz, who got his start on doing computer visual effects for Babylon 5, and has moved up. I'm sorry, the cat is on me, so but I'm not just kind of kicking back here.
Oh no, we have cats. We know.
Yeah, he's been waiting all day for this. I haven't been at the desk all day, but anyway. So Adam Mojo Leibowitz is a visual effects producer who, like I guess, worked on and creator and producer who's worked on Babylon 5, and then probably most notably the Ron Moore Battlestar Galactica series from the early 2000s. And he's leaning very heavily into the AI technology as it pertains to filmmaking.
Right.
And even on his Facebook page, he has created just this week things where he uploaded, created what are called keyframes, which is a phrase that video editors would know quite well. And he was able to create a scene by saying, okay, here's where it starts, here's where it ends, describing the camera moves and the actors and the sets, created a lot of visual elements himself and added these things in. And has it's coming, I mean, the difference is, and there you go.
100%, Jack
nails it.
Right. And now, again, I am not for, like, we just saw that video. I was just blown away. Make an anime of something.
Yeah.
Jeff was explaining to me a lot of what ChatGPT does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified of it. I'm terrified of all this. So, but I get it. And
there's a lot of
it can be to help,
there's a lot of reasons to be worried about this technology, in terms of, and even outside of entertainment or content creation, but even to the extent of, it's like it's like Star Trek: The Next Generation when they start a holodeck story. They just go up and give it a basic instruction, and then you walk into this fantasy world.
Yeah,
that's completely created. And how many times did that go wrong for those guys?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's an interesting concept because, we're of a certain generation, Gen X, and a couple of generations behind, coming up behind us, as each successive generation gets used to technology that was there when they were born, they didn't come upon it later. Yeah. It's already, they're doing analyses of people's critical thinking skills and their creativity and their imagination and all of that kinds of things. And it's like, if the AI tools become, as you're talking about, a method where somebody who maybe isn't skilled with, pen and ink and the traditional methods is still able to create something, how does that change? And it gets into the ethics and legalities of how the models that could drive the AI engines were trained and all that kind of stuff. And we had a ruling, I think, that just came today about, I had a link here, it was in the New York Times. A company called Anthropic has agreed to pay authors $1.5 billion in an AI copyright settlement.
Wow.
And it's $3,000 for each copyrighted work that their system pirated, that they used to train their system on. And I think that was primarily for a text-based thing. So, the two things are, how is your model trained, and the output actually copyrightable, which is still in question.
Yeah, because things are going to change. You might as well. First of all, hello, Deborah. Let's say hi.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Hello, Deborah.
You're a little broken up.
How
I guess
is
it's
everyone?
the internet at the office.
Good.
What?
How are you?
It's
Good
the
Friday
internet.
night. Happy Friday to you.
What's wrong with the internet at the office?
You're a little pixelated, so it's all right. And you look a little,
sorry, guys.
It just cleared up, actually. Well, now it's
it did clear up a little, but if you look, she's kind of fish-eyed. Can you move move it closer to you or something?
Well, this is also the first time I'm doing this on the new iPad, so it could also be the angle.
Better. Yeah, that's better. If you put it on a
better. Actually, I think it was the light fuzzing it out a bit.
Yeah, you're better.
Well, I have a weird light kind of right behind me that is glaring crazily. I'm noticing. I wonder why.
I blame Mike Soloff.
Yeah, I blame Soloff for it.
Don't blame Soloff.
Yeah, let's blame Soloff.
No, just because I miss him.
But yeah, so what I'm saying is, and I love that idea that they're actually paying people, because AI all comes from something. So again, we were talking, Jeff, about the novels that are being written with comics.
I actually find right now that I'm sitting here hoping that they ripped off my novel. Because I could use the money.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's anybody right now on this stream that isn't hoping they did.
Yeah. Tell me about it. So you have.
I was like, if they ripped off anything I wrote, they double my circulation.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
if you talk,
wait, I have a question. I have a question pursuant to what we were just talking about, or as I was listening, we were talking about what's copyrightable and what's not. So what happens in the situation that, say, someone uses AI to get, we'll use it in the instance of writing, kind of to get a first draft done.
Yeah.
And then they go in and change it, right? It's like it's like almost like an outline, right? Right. Whatever the AI throws at you is an outline, and you go, okay, how do I make this more personal to us? Does that then become copyrightable?
I think legally, I think that's still an open question from what I have been following. Now, independent organizations like, the Writers Guild has their determination where they're like, AI tools not to be used. And, but, then you have the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences that says the majority of the film must be completed and, created by human beings. So that that's as detailed as they get in terms of determining ownership and for the purposes of sale, and who owns something.
So in that, sorry, Billy.
We're looking at probably a couple years of court.
Sorry.
Huh?
So I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
So in that instance, if it's a majority, right?
Yeah,
so
whatever.
Is it as, again, I know it's a gray area, but this is, I'll save my opinions for the end, but if it's a majority, which kind of makes sense, I agree with that. Is it as simple as, okay, let's do a word count and make sure 51% of the words, or 50, or just 50 point whatever of the words have been changed or altered in some way, and now then we become, again, maybe copyrightable, or in this case, usable.
Well, I feel like where it's going to end up is going to be the way that, for instance, now Writers Guild arbitration for credits is a fairly involved process of paperwork and affidavits and statements from everybody who was involved in the project. And I feel like that's something that's that process may well be applied to the use of AI in an entertainment product, like a film or a TV show or something like that, for determining the purposes of ownership and can anybody actually own it. And it is that the kind of the two sides of the issue are, how are the models trained? Because, for instance, here's a good example that, and I was talking to Billy about this before the show. I was on a panel. There was a panel called "What Can We Do About AI?" that was at the recent Comic-Con in San Diego, and the issue came up of talking about, let's say, the way the models are trained, the way the current models, the public things that people are using is like these things went out, scraped the internet, grabbed everything they could, brought it in, digested it into this kind of black box of code that now regurgitates these things in a manner that mimics, talking to somebody. And but let's say, for instance, let's say we're going to do a hypothetical here. Legally, the Supreme Court comes down and says publicly trained models cannot be used to create any copyrightable work. If there is any evidence or discovery that you have used a public thing like ChatGPT or any of these other things in the creation of your work, your copyright will be made invalid, but we're not going to give your money back either. So but that being said, so let's take Universal or MGM or Fox or now Disney, which has bought multiple television and film studios and libraries. They have the capability to create their own AI system and train it on material that they already own legally and not use anything outside of that. Scripts, thousands, millions of hours, photographs, films, TV shows, audio recordings, music. They can do this and be completely within their right, saying everything that we fed our model we own, so everything that our model puts out we can own. So I think that's something that we're going to see because they have the financial resources to deploy that kind of technology.
Sure. And they'll, yeah. So I have a question.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on too far on a tangent.
No, that was perfect, actually, because if that's the case, then yes, okay, in the beginning, it's only Disney that's going to have that kind of technology. But once
it's like, Disney, Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, all parts of much larger corporations with much deeper pockets.
Right. But eventually, like everything else with technology, in the beginning, it'll only be theirs. But with how fast technology is moving, it won't only be theirs for long.
Oh my gosh! Well, I know I was in Costco this afternoon, and I noticed that the TV that I paid $2,000 for 5 years ago is now only $500. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
And there we have it.
I have a question. So there are a lot of Kickstarters out there. There are several Kickstarters out there right now that you could see that it's all AI art. I'm not going to call it out. I'm not going to show it. And Jeff and I were talking about ChatGPT, and I'm sure if the art, like that art that I shared, was AI, that Debbie found that art, this image right here, and you're like, who did this art? It's amazing, and it's like, no, that's not real.
Sorry, guys.
That's AI. You know what I mean? That's why I'm bringing it up as this. But if the art is AI, right?
This art right here?
That's AI. Yeah, that's completely AI. That Debbie found. If the art is see, look, I can zoom out.
Isn't her neckband is wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the little things like like the hair stops here.
Yeah.
Little things you could see. But my question is, and the hand is small, but anywho, that say if someone is using their book for the art, I think you'd have to be a fool to think they're not using it for the script, to write a comic book script. Now, I'm sure there's AI programs.
Oh, let me argue the other point. Let me argue the other direction, Billy. You've heard me for pretty much the whole time we've known each other make the joke, I'm the saddest thing of all, a comic book writer. I know. There are things,
you can literally make tens of dollars while artists might be able to make hundreds of dollars.
So I look at it and say there are books that I would love to do that I can't convince somebody who's like, who really wants to be a superhero artist, that they want to do this comic that I'm writing about dating life in high school. You know, it's just people, nothing exciting. I know it's a great story. If we got to the point where it was not about me making money off it, and I, you know, some of the times I've got stuff that stories I just have to get out of my head.
Right.
And if this became a vehicle of, if I adequately describe things, again, that's on me as a writer. If I adequately describe the things to an AI thing, and I'm not looking, like I said, this is not going to replace the X-Men. This, you know, this isn't even going to replace Strangers in Paradise. It's just going to be what it is. That has an appeal to me that I'm not ready to commit to, but I would be lying if I said the appeal wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a question now. So, like I said, I'm sure that if they're using the AI art, I'm sure they're going to use the AI script. And I guess with ChatGPT, now, Jeff, you and I were talking. I haven't used it yet. I've looked at it. I did some fun stuff with the art of, you know, Andy Smith made me the hunter, if you saw that, with a lion and all. Anyway, but like I said, what if I want to make a comic book, which I'm not doing any of this. I'm against all this. But what if I want to make a comic book of 4 people, as I said earlier, 4 people are streaming right now. And I type this into ChatGPT, right? And one of them is murdered on screen live. But there's one detective, one viewer is a you know, a novice detective or a wannabe detective, or, you know, he thinks that one of the 3 survivors is the murderer. Can you type that into ChatGPT, and can that then write you a 40-page script on it, or a 100-page script on it? Let's do comics. Let's stick with comics. A 24-page comic book script on this.
Yes,
I'm sure it can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, listen.
Let me
finish.
You were talking. Mark was saying how that people are getting sued for it and stuff. How do they know that it's AI generated? How can you tell that someone wrote a comic strip or a film script on a story and it's AI generated? How do they know?
My first reaction is it's much easier to tell when it's prose, because the prose is verbose. It's all over the place. It's unnecessarily flowery.
Well, what's interesting about that, Jeff, is that if you ask it, when you feed in your prompt and say, make sure that the text that if you've uploaded samples, like within your account, like your ChatGPT account, if you upload enough samples of your work and you include in your prompt the first thing you write, in my voice, write this article, like, it becomes a lot. But, you know, it doesn't do what you're saying.
And it really, Mark, you're right. One of the things about it,
I gave it an instruction one time. It's like, you know, just playing with these tools to figure out, you know, what are we up, you know, at the time, what are we up against, before I really started getting into using them and seeing how they could accelerate and elevate our processes a little bit. But again, still having a human in control, is this idea that I asked it to write an article, you know, 500 words, whatever, about something. And I said, now rewrite this so that it can't be detected. And then I took it over to the AI detector that is available, where you can paste copy into it. And they're using this in universities and colleges and some places to see if students are writing papers using.
Can they take that? Okay, you're talking paper though. Can you take that paper and then put it into Word and then change it up to yourself? Or can you take a script?
Yeah, I mean, that's
script and put it into, you know,
that's what I said
Screenwriter
before.
Pro or something, and then
well, then you know, then you're getting into.
Billy.
Well, I don't know. The watermarks. I don't know. I'm asking.
Then you're getting into. It's like the interesting part about this is that the way AI learns by scraping stuff on the internet, is it really any different than the way we learn, except the speed? You know, it's like we learn. Our creatives generally learn by copying other people first before, and over years they develop their own style, and then their own style as an artist or their voice as a writer. And, it's like, I'm oversimplifying it greatly, because it is an accelerated, industrialized way of absorbing this content and then regurgitating it and spitting something out. Yeah. At some level, we still do that. Like, we see something cool in a story, and then we're like, oh, well, we'll do something like that in ours, and then you modify it and change it. And then you get into things like, what is the legal definition of a derivative work? And how do you determine what the original work is and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so, I mean, you'd have to, unless that story was taken of one of us getting murdered.
Right.
And I'll get murdered, right? I get murdered live. Because I can say that now because Debbie's, well, no, wait a minute.
She's at the office.
But the whole point is
your office is much more dramatically
alibis. You guys all have alibis. So that is something that's going to generate off of thousands of pieces of prose and film and all this stuff and make up something completely original, I guess. Right? I mean,
is it? Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is like it really, it could create something that by like a literal definition is original, because it is combining elements that were not previously combined.
Yeah. Now, what if you have, what if you have a chat GP, because I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
It says create an account. So say you create an account on chat GPT and you say, write me a screenplay on this. Is that owned partly by ChatGPT? Are you then in ChatGPT's database? So then that's how they can track that you stole that created this?
Well, what you described is exactly, I mean, that's how the ChatGPT specifically, and many of the others, are able to continue that conversation. Like I have a bunch of conversations set up in my ChatGPT where we were talking about different subjects. And then I asked it something the other day and it said, oh, we talked about that like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, what?
What? Oh my God.
It was like this, it was kind of weird and disturbing and creepy. And like, you can't have watched science fiction movies from the 70s about computers either taking over or destroying the world and not be freaked out by all of this.
Oh, sure. War Games.
With that, War Games, a movie called Colossus, the Forbidden Project, where it
Terminator.
Oh my God. Yeah, all of it. And it's like, although my week was going so bad when we had August 29th, I think, is the day Skynet was supposed to, the anniversary of Skynet becoming sentient. And I was like, we should be so lucky. You know?
Do you remember, Mark, do you remember when we had one of the writers call the Overstreet's fan offices the day it was supposed to go online and say goodbye to all of us?
Oh yeah. That was very funny. But yeah, anyway, it's a valid question, because it's like at some point the tools, it's only going to get harder and harder to determine if something is AI generated or not.
Wow. Yeah. I see that with visuals for sure.
Yeah.
Now here's something. So I want to get to the gist of the matter here. Is with Captain Finity, the time travel police.
I like this guy.
I do too. AI for writing? Hell nah. AI for turning comic panels into movies? Hell yeah, with a little popcorn.
I do think it was Netflix. It's either Netflix or a company very similarly modeled that is experimenting with user prompts for creating their own content to watch.
Well, so
but I don't know what it's based on. I just heard it in passing and haven't been able to research it any more than that.
Well, for those, we just got a bunch of people joining us, and honey, you missed this part, is that Jeff and I were talking, and Mark, about my adventures in Hollywood with the incredible things that we had. And even somebody like, we've had people who want to meet with us at San Diego, right? In the past, who are producers or whatever, and have gotten them badges that they want they want to do et cetera, and never show up, and then again, my meetings with them wanting to change Anna from Anna Ishikawa to Anna Lane. That was her name they wanted. Things
Lane
like
for
that.
real? They actually wanted to do Lane? That's
Lane.
kind of taken.
Now Debbie's a big fan of Diane Lane. I don't care for her.
Like Lois might have a problem
It's
with
the
that.
other way around.
I don't like her at all.
I'm sorry.
He has the hugest crush on her.
I do not.
I got two things to say here. One, Deb, great choice. She's a wonderful actress.
I
And
do like
two,
her, but
absolutely, she's very likable, and that's something you can't buy. The thing that, and she's aged beautifully. I mean, she looks great on screen.
she really does.
And I have to say this: when my parents were house hunting in 1979, when we moved to Texas, keep in mind, I'm a Marvel kid through and through, and they were looking at a house on Lois Lane, and I vetoed it. I was like, you can't do that to me. And I was moving in the middle of high school, and I was reasonably well behaved about it, but I was like, no.
Like reasonably.
Well, anyway, so my point is what I feel with AI, with the coming of it, and I could share another little video of someone. Can I animate better than an AI generated film? And I could show it. It's really brief, at least the beginning. I showed another trail that was all AI, and then I'm gonna share something.
Which one are you showing?
I'm gonna show this. Hang on, I'm gonna move it over here. Let me move it here.
No, that's not
okay.
the one.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not the one. But this is someone who generated an AI film.
Wait, 1 second.
What?
1 second. You sent me a clip of AI taking an illustration and turning it into a live action figure.
Do you have that? Share it with me. If
I
you
can
share
resend it. I can resend it back to you.
Well, you can't because I'm on the PC. So you're going to have to share your screen and share it if you could open it up.
I have no
Or if you could put the link in the private chat. You see the private chat?
Put the link in the private chat.
Put the link in the private chat. But okay, so here we go. So we are about to witness an anime where 80% was made through AI.
Animation. But the real question is, can AI create animations that rival the genius and effort of human animators? And with AI having the capabilities of generating complex animations in seconds, will the countless hours spent on frame-by-frame animation even matter in the long run? In this video, I set out to answer these very important questions by going one-on-one with AI. Make sure to stick around because this was a pretty crazy one. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one website.
So I want to find out what this program this guy purchased, and you'll see what he did in minutes.
Release, and the video just looked absolutely bonkers.
This right here is all generated by AI. Even though you can still tell it's AI because of the artifacts here and there, imagine where this technology is going to be in just a few years. It's kind of bonkers. So I'll be using the website that created these animations. It's called Vidu. And I'll be generating an AI animation that I'll be competing with to see who could do it better, an AI or a human animator.
Image to video, reference to video, text to video. That's what we got to do.
Imagine being able to build anything.
Sorry. I'll stop.
Oh, is that a commercial?
Yeah, I got to skip the commercial.
Inspire me. Oh, set in a steampunk universe and meticulously crafted. Okay, I'm not reading all of that to be completely honest.
Yeah, he's putting in a description.
I guess we could try generating it.
A few seconds after I click generate, the AI had already completed a final product for me. And this is what it was.
What the heck is this? This looks like a piece of shit.
Right after the AI generated a mid-ass prompt, I decided to ask ChatGPT for an anime-related prompt to try to get the results that I was originally expecting. And then to my surprise, this happened.
Oh, I kind of like this one because it's this.
So the guy gave him a new story. Okay.
Yeah.
A new description of his story.
Describing the characters. Okay, let's do this one.
So I decided that this will be the final prompt for this video. No more redos for this AI. This is gonna be our prompt. An anime protagonist with spiky, windswept hair and glowing, intense eyes charges up a powerful energy attack. The camera focuses on their face, showing a mix of determination and grit as sparks and glowing particles surround them. They clench their teeth and shout, "Let's end this!" The camera quickly zooms out to show them unleashing a massive colorful energy blast. The background is a dramatic sunset sky with swirling clouds, and the screen shakes as the attack erupts, illuminating their face with an intense glow. I then fed this prompt to the AI, and after a short moment, it was ready to go, and I was not expecting it to look like this.
Oh my God. I might actually be cooked.
Now that AI had cooked up something that is honestly way better than I expected, I knew that in order to totally destroy...
Anyway, so within seconds, right, it came up with this sort of thing. What I'm looking at is I would love to take this gosh darn comic right here, right? Say here, She's Sakura, right? and somehow get these pages with the art, right? Art with the script, with the words. We have the script, etc., etc. With the way our panels are laid out, right? And make a film out of this. That's my goal. I want to make a movie on this.
And the crazy thing is, it doesn't have to be animated because of that other video that you showed me, that you can put in animation and it spits back what looks like a living person.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want that. I'm thinking maybe even just do it in our art style. Make it like someone had wrote earlier, to make it as a fill-in.
But Billy, that's the thing. It doesn't just pick any generic living person. It creates a three-dimensional living person, or what looks like a living person, that fits the description of what you drew.
It can. And that's the determining factor, is when you create your prompt, is that you tell it you want something that looks like live action versus animation. Like the guy in the video, his prompt was very specific about the animation and the style. Well, I want to interject one thing about what Billy said a few minutes ago about what happens to anything that you upload to ChatGPT. Because one of the things I've done with ChatGPT is, trying to go out to investors to invest in my production company and do things. I had been working on a deck for a couple of months, and as you work on something and you're kind of working on it in private, you can get tunnel vision about it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just screwing around with ChatGPT. Let me upload my PD, my 17-page investment proposal deck, and ask it to evaluate it in terms of how much I was asking for. And it thought for about 5 seconds and came back with a slide-by-slide critique of my deck that was amazing, in terms of like what I should ask, what was missing, what is the things about the type of investment, the time scale, all of these kinds of business related, entertainment, quasi entertainment business related things. But what occurred to me is the answer to your question about like what happens to anything you upload or input into ChatGPT. There's two things. One of which, you have to assume that anything you upload is going to be included in their giant database of information.
Right.
And second, the real determining factor is to look at when you signed up, you probably somewhere on their site is a link for terms of use. As a paying customer or even with a free account, you agree to certain terms of use, the same as any kind of social media, where at some point, you may be giving them the license to include your material in their database without realizing it.
Yeah. And also it probably has something there too, that if they get sued, right? Say they get sued by the Hemingway estate, right?
Yeah.
Because this is Old Man in the Sea, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they have to then disclose those files connected to your account.
Well, and they maintain.
Well, they will. Maybe not now. It's like the Wild Wild West now, isn't it?
Well, I'll admit, I don't know enough. I have a buddy of mine who is his role in his company is completely dedicated to researching AI in terms of its implications on the job market and the workforce and roles in the future, and how companies are going to evolve to utilize the technology and still maintain a human workforce, and what those impacts are going to be. So he's been deep in this stuff probably for going on 5 years now, and privy to things that would blow your mind in terms of what the things are capable of that we haven't even seen in the public yet. He showed me some of it, and it was kind of amazing. One of which I'll just interject, which tell you very quickly, was he asked one of the systems that he has kind of preliminary access to create a podcast of two people. It was a financial services show talking about current market conditions and when can we expect interest rates to drop. It was some basic kind of prompt, and uploaded a couple of white papers on the topic for data, for information, and said create a podcast of two hosts talking and about it. And it was like 10 seconds. And this thing is like, it sounds like, MSNBC or not, or CNBC, the guys in the business thing talking. But what this system did, it allowed you to ask questions. He typed a thing. He's like, oh, Brian, Brian's got a question. And so I'm going to, and then it says, Brian, what's your question? And you type it in. It says, Brian wants to know. And then there was a little bit of a beat that you could tell it wasn't quite there yet. But, 6 months to a year, you wouldn't have been able to tell it was a computer doing all of the talking. And so, what I would suggest too with as an experiment is to take potentially, a portion of your book, upload it to either, you can start with ChatGPT, but there are other more specific tools that are available, and say, generate prompts that would turn this into prompts for Vidu, which is the platform that the guy in the video was using.
Right.
Say, how would I go about, maintaining this art style? Because the thing that is required, I think, is in order to create that art style, it would have to analyze it in some way, recreate the art style in motion, and see how it would work. But that'd be a very interesting thing to try.
Well, I think it can. I mean, I don't see how it cannot. If it's doing all these other things,
Mhm.
and again, I'd like to use it on existing work, on our existing traditional art that we've done, and to make films out of this. And again, it's this. I see this is the only way for ordinary comic book creators or other content creators to actually put out the vision that they want without arguing with people, without having them say, well, I'm paying for this, so this is the way it's going to be.
Well, wait a minute. So first of all, that doesn't always happen, as was evident in Hellboy and Walking Dead. They pretty much stuck to the comic. So if you're with the right producer, I guess it can happen.
The right producer
But
wants
that
to
being
work with
said,
you.
Billy, if you want, I did send in our personal chat there, I did send the link to that thingy that you sent me where they take an animated character and make it look like a real
Good. I
person.
like this. I love that you're more of a boomer than I am. When you say our personal, you said our.
What am I supposed to say?
The private chat.
Private, personal. Does
You're
it really
cute, honey.
make
You're
that
cute.
much of a difference?
Honey, you're cute. We all love you for it. I love it.
Stop making me sound like a dumb blonde.
Okay. All right. What did you say?
Stop making me sound like a dumb blonde.
I'm not making you sound like a dumb blonde at all. Okay, here we go. This is the thing. So let's bring this over here. See if I can go big with it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's share that. And this is what you're talking about?
Yes. Play that.
Okay. So they took the art and made like a 3D style off of that art. Oh yeah, there's a lot of it. Yeah. There's a cool one.
I find that
Dr. Man.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Listen, I agree that it's incredible. I don't think though that precludes doing an animated feature in Billy's style, which has just never been done.
No, absolutely not. But I find it hard to believe that we wouldn't be curious what it would do with Billy's style in turning it into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be. I mean, I don't think you would be curious. I think you mean AI curious.
Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you.
AI curious.
I was leaving the be curious out. I was just letting it go.
AI curious?
And our audience should know how rare it is that you let anything go.
No, honey, but you're right. I just wonder if people. I think we can get away with it. People who embrace the idea of AI working as fill-in cells for a storyboard with this art. With here's how beating the crap out of a girl, right? Or the bully in school.
If you take the comics, the comic panels, and consider those as the keyframes, the computer will eventually be able to fill in what happens in between.
100%, and that's
as somebody commented. That's actually what it's called, the in-betweens.
Yes, the in-betweeners. That's what I'm looking at to do, and I think that's something that can be universally embraced. Because if we want to then take it and make a film, which Debbie showed, where it becomes like live action type characters, and I want to get to that next too.
Sure.
I think this is again, it's not a threat. It's not a tyrant. It's a tool for us to use to get our vision, our actual vision of what we want out there, and it's the only way that it could happen. And we're
It's not the only way. We just established it's not the only way.
It's the only way. That we've been doing this for 30 years, so that's the only way.
It may be the only way in our case. Maybe.
Well, a colleague of mine out here, her name's Diana Williams, and she runs a company called Kinetic Energy Entertainment, and they are kind of a world building, cross multi-platform development company. And she has been very, very heavily leaning into kind of researching, as the industry has pulled back from what they used to call peak TV, where there were 500 new scripted dramas a year, and streaming was they were throwing money like crazy trying to get subscribers, and they've pulled back from that now. And audiences, there's enough stuff in the pipeline that audiences have not yet experienced the thinning out of new dramas. And so we haven't really gotten there yet, but the way it's leaning, and the way I think, and when I say it, I'm kind of talking about visual filmed entertainment, streaming or in theaters, is YouTube is very quickly supplanting every other platform. More people watch YouTube than network television. More people listen to podcasts on YouTube than any other platform. And so what is being created is an ecosystem that bypasses the traditional entertainment structures and business structures. So all the people that were giving you notes, it's like the potential and the possibility for a creator to get directly to their audience. It's the two have never been closer, and they're only going to get closer from here.
Agreed.
And so, and so what you're talking about. So the issue is like when AI comes into it, and this is all just my opinion and my thought and belief, is that, you have the consideration of, can the computer do what you're suggesting? And one of the arguments against it is, well, what about the animators? And I think that's what the guy in the video was talking about. It's like, how many people is that not going to employ? And as a creator, you're kind of like, that wouldn't be my decision anyway.
That's right, 100%.
If I sold this to another company, whoever they went to, somebody there, and it's harsh to say it, but in any instance when you're crossing that line from the creation of entertainment to the business of entertainment, there will be winners and losers no matter what. And that's the same in any aspect of the economy. And, so it's like, I can feel for how this is going to change. But as you said, as a creator, my driving force is to get my vision and my idea to the audience as quickly and as seamlessly as possible. And it's true to my own vision.
Right. And they're not knocking down the darn door, these for us anyway. So here's something I want to share. Jeff Smith, right, built this amazing world with, let's say, Bone. Razzle is fantastic. Tucci is fantastic. Jeff is a genius, I think. Jeff Smith has had the adventures in Hollywood with Bone. So Jeff wrote this cartoon a few years ago after Netflix canceled his series, right? And he says, hello, I'm from Nickelodeon. Let me move it over here. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm from Nickelodeon. I want to make an animated Bone movie. Here's Jeff like, okay. Yeah, let's make a movie, right? And all the whole thing with Sal. Who pulls away the football? Lucy pulls away the football, right?
Yeah.
Right. Hi, I'm from Warner Brothers. I want to make an animated Bone movie.
I love it so much.
It's like, yeah, they're makers of Bugs Bunny. Let's do it. And once again, boom. And then here, hello, we're from Netflix. I want to make an animated Bone series. I don't know. He's like, yeah, streaming is the whole new thing. This will be different this time. Bam, right? The same exact thing. Here's Jeff right here. Never again. And then here comes somebody else next. Allow me to introduce myself. And here's Jeff Smith, on 4/22/22, with apologies to Sparky Schultz. So here's the lesson. Jeff can make his own Bone film with his frame by frame of his 300 pages of Bone. He could then hook up with an AI company, or they can create it themselves through cartoon books. They can become cartoon films, and he could make an animated bone film to his vision with the music he wants, right? With the voices he wants, how he feels that the voice of Phone Bone should be, the voice of Thorn should be, right? These are the voices that the voice of Ted the Bug, you know, he can pick exactly the voices he wants. He can lay out his film shot by shot and not have to worry about any interference from anyone else, be he right or wrong. Same thing with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we're right, maybe somebody would add a better vision, but this was our original vision.
I'll tell you what.
I want to buy it. I love it. Now change everything.
I'll tell you what. I think the answer to your question, and this is, I had to have experienced this too, is like, is it right or wrong? And I think the answer to that, I've been looking at the comments, glancing as the comments scroll by, and it's like, what will the market bear? Will the audience, does the audience pick it up or not? Is it good? Does it create a wave? You know, because if it's crap, everyone will be like, see, it's AI, it's crap, we told you. You know, there'll be that bias. But if it becomes good, like kind of a hit, you know, and is commanding an audience that rivals, you know, major motion picture animation releases or streaming animation releases, you know, who's to say? Because you will have succeeded. You will have gotten your because if your specific goal is like, I want to get this thing out and I want it to be as close to my vision as possible, and these tools allow you to do that, that seems like a pretty straight line, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and Stat Zero, what's up, Stat? Good to see you, brother. You're
Yes,
you are just going to have to enjoy what you do.
That's the comment I was referring to. Yeah,
you're right. If it's good, it's good. Like I said, the normie audience won't care. They're just, and everyone's doing it. If I can come up with this,
there will be
the dumbest person on this stream. How many others are coming up with it?
There will be people who excoriate you and the product. Anybody who does this is going to get, there will be a group of people that rip them a new asshole.
Well, let me tell you, I got excoriated once when I had a hunch that I wanted to put $20,000 into Amazon in the summer of 1997. And I got told by my friends that I'd be hated in the comic industry because I'd be putting the comic book distributors and comic book shops out of business.
Yeah.
Because of this Amazon, this new publicly traded company that just sold books. And I'm like, I can cut out the middleman.
I saw one of these
directly to the fans. That would be worth $23 million today.
I saw this meme and it applied, you know, it was in a I don't know, it was something about, you know, was it in a thread or an Instagram reel or something. And the reel was specifically talking about relationships. The person who posted it was talking about relationships, but it said something that was very telling. And I've talked to Jeff about this week and on other topics, where it's like, at some point you have to be comfortable being the villain, because you will be to someone.
Well,
regardless of what you do, right? You know.
Well, let me tell you, some of those people that were telling me this became editors and editor-in-chiefs of major companies. Not one of them ever offered me a job.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other thing I was going to say is that
So whose fault is that, Tucci?
And that's why I'm not making that fucking mistake ever again. I want to do what's best for us, for the best for she. I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm not going and arguing with producers. I don't want to get people tickets to San Diego Comic-Con who want to come and talk to us about meetings, and then they're too busy to fucking show up.
Here's the interesting part about that, and it was what I was getting to with talking about Diana Williams' work and the post. If you follow her on LinkedIn, this is where a lot of that information is coming up, where it's you know, there is this move and this lean towards creating for the audience, not for the industry, you know. And it's like because you'll find your audience, you know, your audience is there. There will be people, even people who don't like AI and think it's evil. If they're a Billy Tucci fan or a She fan, they're going to check it out. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you kind of like, it's somebody is going to do it. And you know, the industry itself, it's like for years, you know, since the kind of the rise of social media, actors and actresses that are looking for work, you say you have two people going up for the same part, by the numbers, they're exactly, both of them are perfect. Both of them would be fine. They will pick the one with more social media followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so there is this. There's
Send me
this.
that. Can you share me that woman's page? I'd love to look her up.
Yeah, I'll find it for you.
And again, this is just a germ of an idea. You know, we're larks right now. You know, we're chicks. You know, we're tadpoles swimming in a giant sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's another thing.
Yeah,
is say Universal Studios wants to make Frankenstein, right? And they want Boris Karloff's likeness. Do you think that if they don't go to Boris Karloff's daughter and granddaughter, I don't know if his daughter, so his granddaughter, who has the Boris Karloff stuff and all this, and says, we will give you $3 million for the rights to use your grandfather's likeness, that he can star in the new Frankenstein film?
This goes to the states, particularly to the states. You know, we've talked a little bit on this show about how copyright law is going to go topsy-turvy, and there's going to be a lot of changes and lawyers are going to be well employed over the next couple of decades. But this gets even further because you've got multiple states, including California, that recognize the right to publicity. And that right is something that you can inherit from your parent or others. And companies buy them.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Willis sold his likeness, didn't he, for a couple of $1 million?
Yep. Yeah, he created Art of Roy's comment was.
Yeah, wait, no, Roy, good to see you, buddy. Nope. If you guys did a comic derived from or use AI, I'd drop you like a fresh turd and never look back. We're agreed. We're not talking that. We're talking about taking
no ambiguity whatsoever.
Yeah. We're talking about taking existing properties like this book right here. She, Sakura I just grabbed, right? And taking Sakura and turning it into a film.
Utilizing the comic as the
comic as storyboards. So take this shot right here of Anna saying something to Hotaru and having her move and then cut to this shot, then cut to Yoshitora. To have these action scenes to actually act as fill-ins, like with the animators. You know, you had the animator, Urwix would do every 10 frames or so, right? Then he'd have a fill-in artist come in and do that. Then they'd have the ink and paint girls would come in and lay the cells over the penciled animated the pencil animation, and then clean them up, paint them, ink them, and literally ink and paint girls. That's what they were doing. So the original animator never touched the final product. So that's what I'm looking at AI to do, is to fill in from panel to panel using existing work that was created.
Statistical zeros column right there at the bottom, Billy.
Bottom?
Yeah.
Reminds me of motion comics.
Of the brief motion comics craze. This is dead on. And the difference is motion comics were still very labor intensive. Right? Because their computer wasn't animating that stuff. You had to decide what was moving. They could do certain things in the background and stuff like that, but it wasn't this wholesale. It could do this really fast, like you just showed us with that prompt, and all of a sudden, 10 minutes worth of description maybe, and all of a sudden you've got an animated scene, right?
Yeah.
So that's not what was going on in motion comics, but motion comics were a step toward this.
Right. And now we just take this to the next level because it's happening, whether we like it or not, whether we want to jump on this train, it's happening. And now, again, I was talking to Bo Smith, as I said earlier, mentioned, now it's like the wild, wild west. So there's really, it's a lot easier.
It's not appropriate for Bo Smith.
Yeah, I know, right? But you don't know what you could use because these things haven't quite happened yet. So you could push so many boundaries now. I want to take our original copyrighted and trademark material, our registered material, and then make a film out of that, like the Hollywood studios want to come, or the animation studios want to come. And they come to us and they want to talk to us about making this. I even thought about doing it ourselves. How much did Jay Avila say it would cost for a 30-second trailer, honey? $100,000? If we,
I think that was like what you said,
yes.
or was it 100,000 or was it 250,000?
I think it's 100,000 for 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds, I think was 100,000.
Yeah.
So if I want to put $100,000 in, because I got boatloads of cash somewhere, I guess.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you. That I could pay Jay, who's an incredible producer and director, does all of Marvel's movies, all of DC's animated films. Yeah. Incredibly talented man. That I could pay him in his studio to do this would cost me $100,000. Because no one's going to give you the money just to make a $100,000 trailer to hope you can then take that and sell it. Why not take an AI, do this? We have the storyboards already here. We have the art already here. It would look like nothing else before. It wouldn't look like Blue-Eyed Samurai. It wouldn't look like Gotcha Man. It wouldn't look like Ninja Scroll. It wouldn't look like Warner Brothers cartoons. It would be each unique to each one of our own creative visions. And
I think one of the tools that the evolution of the tools is, as we're using them now with these large language models, you take something like Amazon Web Services, because years ago, before Amazon Web Services became a thing, you sign up with an ISP, it'd be local, they'd give you space on their web server, and that evolved. All these small ISPs evolved into GoDaddy and various other web hosting companies, and then Amazon came up, and as each of them evolved, they became more powerful and had more systems that you could attach to and use. And I think one of the things that I think has to be a natural outgrowth of these AI large language models is going to be the ability to create containers within these large language models, to where Crusade could come in and upload the entire library of She artwork and story and do exactly what you're suggesting, and know that nobody's going to be able to get into that container, and your stuff isn't going to necessarily go out of that container. And I feel like if it goes that direction, and I don't know that it will, but it seems like a likely thing, there would be a much bigger acceptance of the technology, I think, to some degree, because there's a lot of people, there's as we saw this week at Dragon Con, where the artist was ejected. I don't know if he was an artist at all, but it was a guy who was selling AI artwork in Artist Alley, and he got ejected, and it's created an incredibly long-running conversation and a heated one online about that. And ejecting him from Artist Alley seems reasonable, because that is the spot where artists are supposed to be, where fans can come and see their favorite creators and talk to them and everything. And it's like, but if he rented a booth anywhere else, would the convention, because they don't have any policies against doing that. This was
right. They don't.
See, that's the whole thing.
At least they didn't. They might next year.
I'm sure they will next year. And truthfully,
that's as far as I know. They may actually, but I'm not sure.
Listen, that's the whole crux of it right there. Because I don't like laws and rules after the fact. If you make a rule like, hey, we're not having any AI artists in Artist Alley, I'm totally down with that. I think that's a great rule. I think it's a phenomenal rule. If you didn't publish that rule, I don't see how you kick somebody out for doing it.
Well, Art of Roy, though, he's saying it was a female artist with AI art based on her own work.
Yes, it was. It was.
Okay, so see that I didn't know that until just now, and I'm like, she absolutely should not have been kicked out, because AI, she's using AI as a tool. It's no different than a brush in that case.
Yeah. And if you guys think, get
my
back
opinion,
to the filmmaking, if you guys, because I heard that there was talk that in the Fantastic Four movie, they're talking about a Terrificon. In the Fantastic Four film, there is a lot of AI effects in it. And if you think animation companies are not using AI right now, I got a bridge in San Francisco. I'd like to.
You want to take a look. You want to, if anybody on the thread, this is the great guy to follow. If you go to, he's on multiple platforms, but I tend to follow him on Instagram, and it's at producer.patrick. Okay. And this guy does these 1 to 2 minute rundowns pretty much daily on the state of the entertainment industry. But AI is a frequent topic, and he did a post within the last couple of weeks about it, where he's like, if you don't think the studios are leaning hard into this technology, they are, because it's like the one thing, and this, kind of this is kind of where we should all kind of hang together in some degree, because the people that as creators we're constantly kind of pitching our stuff to and talking to, is, you know, they want to pay us the least out of the entire process.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Yeah.
so, you know, and so I to some degree, I like the idea of some of the negative kind of aspects of AI in the public, I think, you know, are being funded by, you know, ultimately what AI threatens to do is cut these companies out of the process. Again, you know, narrowing the distance, shortening the distance between creator and audience like never before. You know, I mean, I talked to, you know, Jeff and I were talking about development executives in general at networks and the people that give you notes and stuff. And they get a very bad reputation. A lot of times, in many instances, it's deserved. But if you take a look at, you know, creators like Matt Groening of The Simpsons and Shonda Rhimes of Grey's Anatomy, they became incredibly successful showrunners and producers. You know, both with ABC, or you know, Shonda with ABC and Matt Groening obviously with Fox.
Yeah.
You know, when they went to Netflix and there was no development structure that would keep the entertainment kind of in the brand identity, you know, they created things that were routinely panned, you know, because they didn't have anybody kind of pushing back on it. So I think what you're going to get is, you know, as the distance shortens between creator and audience, is the creator going to be more responsive to the audience or less? Is it going to create more kind of contention? You know, who's going to be the sounding board to?
But the cool thing is, you have total control to burn out like that.
Right.
That's something they don't like.
Listen, it absolutely, and in the social media world that we live in now, one misstep, it's, you know, pretty much as society operates right now, it's one strike and you're out. And it's interesting, to say the least, that we see that there's some cause and some benefit of people who are actually good development people giving you notes about stuff, because sometimes you need to hear, hey, that's not really working. And sometimes you need to hear something and go, nah, I'm sticking with what I did, but I'm glad you brought that up because now I'm really strong about that point.
Or it just makes you think about how to move things in the future, even if you're not changing what
absolutely, Deb,
they originally wanted you to change.
I've been working on a project with this one company for quite some time. Jeff's familiar with this. And, you know, it routinely would go round and round with this development guy. You know, it was like, and he would just be like, I don't know if I get it. I don't know if I understand. And it's like, what don't you understand? What don't you get? And it would just be like arguing and arguing and arguing and arguing. And then he would come out with this like gem of an idea. Like, that's like, it's almost working. Your thing is almost working. And then he says one thing and it goes, you know, and you're just like, asshole.
Where was this for the last 6 hours?
Like he comes up with some legitimately fantastic bit that makes the script work or the scene work. And you're just like, I hate that guy.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff.
Billy, I have a question because I have about 7 minutes before I got to go pick up Ro.
Oh,
can we check out my launch page for my new
I
project?
actually was sharing it when then Mark started talking, so I went back to. I was gonna do it at the end, but let's do that. Well, here's something that's with no AI whatsoever.
No AI, no CGI.
Dead Inspector by the illustrious J.C. Vaughn. 2 exclusive trading cards for backers in the first 24 hours now.
This is just the sign up page. So when it goes live, everybody that signed up and joins in the first 24 hours for the thing when it goes live, which I think is probably a week, it's gonna be fun, and they'll get 2 exclusive trading cards
on Indiegogo. Let's watch this short. Let's watch the trailer created by the illustrious Mr. Mark Haynes. And we'll go big on it.
This was so much fun to do. I mean, it's not terrible.
And this is the artist of Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead artist. Excellent.
There's been a serial killer operating in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the last 143 years. Detective David Hastings has just discovered this. Can he convince anyone else, even his partner, about it before it's too late? Dead Inspector, from writer J.C. Vaughn and artist Giancarlo Caracuzzo.
Great Barry cover. Outstanding. Outstanding.
Thank you. I think Mark did a phenomenal
Great
job.
job.
And the art, I'm really happy. Mark and I had worked with him on the first issue of Stargate Universe before MGM drove him insane. And like he had like 6 months worth of tryouts for them, like doing this character, doing that character, jumping through all the hoops. And after one issue, he bails because that. And then I saw him on Night of the Living Dead at American Mythology, and it was just this moody stuff, just like you saw there. And so I wanted to try working with him, so I gave him an 8-page Capone story that actually sets up the next arc. And I loved what he did on that. And so I've been trying to get Dead Inspector done. Honestly, it's my second longest gestating characters ever. I left a party in college and went and made the first notes on this story.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
That should be in the trailer too. But you've been working on this almost as long as the serial killer.
And you know, the great part about it is that this is apparently the year for that, Billy, because the only characters I have that are longer gestating than Dead Inspector are the Chimpians, and they're in She Gatecrasher.
That's right.
What are you going to do now, Jeff? What are you going to do after this?
Yeah.
How are you going to?
Where do
you go from up, Jeff?
I think now we've got to turn these into animated movies.
So please, guys, go. Yeah, just real quick. Just go and sign up for this campaign. Get on the list. I'll be sharing it in our She Gatecrasher updates and all. It's just, I mean, I'm a big fan of yours, Jeff.
Listen, I'm really excited about this. I'm so happy about the covers. What's really great is Simone Guglielmini, who did Near Death at Image, which was one of my favorite comics. Even the letter page in that comic was great. I guess they were text pages, not so much letter pages. But I really loved that comic, and I had him do a Capone cover, and he did this one at the same time, and it wasn't Capone. It's just he was on such a roll and in such a noir groove. And then I had Noelle Giddings, who was, of course, Milestone Media's main colorist. Mm-hmm. She actually outputs it onto board and physically paints.
Wow.
And it's just such a beautiful piece that when I got that, I immediately knew what I was doing with Dead Inspector after all those years of trying to get it done. And then I went to John Snyder III, who I've worked with a lot on Overstreet covers. And I've always loved his stuff, and he absolutely rocked the piece. And of course, Barry Orkin. And Barry, you know, having worked with him on the Stoker and Wells books with Steve Peros, you know, the first one was overwhelmingly yellow, and the second one was overwhelmingly red. I said, let's see where you go with blue. And just look at that thing, man. He just blew it out of the water.
It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous what he did. Just he's dynamite. Barry, who designed the first She logo and shield off of my crude sketches. So great job. So everyone, please share, sign up for this campaign. Jeff always delivers, and this book is done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing I'm really excited about it.
And share the link. Share the link with your friends.
It will be on Kickstarter as well. But as you said, Billy, the book is done. It is, you know, scripted, penciled, inked, colored, lettered, edited, designed, laid out. It exists as a print ready PDF.
You just
I
need
got to read it, and it's
people to help
amazing.
you pay to get it made, printed.
And so it literally, that's what we need the support for, is get it across the finish line. It will be at the printer when the campaigns conclude. So the minute that the money is released, they'll go on press. We will be through pre-press and everything else like that. I have one more project I'd love to get done this year. It is also done. If we can't do it, we can't, but because I don't want to go into December with any kind of project. I don't have, let's say, a Tucci like fan base. But I really think that this is a great one. It's a 48 pager, full color. It's a one shot. You don't have to read any of my other stuff to get this one. It's a standalone story. I do have more stories to tell with this. I'd love to do that. But if this is the only one I get to do, finally it's out of my system.
100%.
And I think if you've heard me on this before, Billy, like incessantly, I believe that when people read She Gatecrasher, we've already had some really great comments on that book.
Oh yeah,
from people reading the digital edition, and I think that I've got it shot. It's a good time for me to try and entice some new readers.
100%. Well, it is scheduled to get to us by the end of the month. Debbie's trying to push you to get it done quicker, to get our books.
I'm actually talking with Jenna-Beth about that right now.
Excellent.
Let's come on. Let's move on these books. I know
because this is. Listen,
I think we have a shot at getting it earlier. If we split ship the soft covers and hard covers.
I don't have a problem with that at all. Give me 1 second. I'm going to step out.
I actually prefer that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
me
I
too.
don't have to intake all the stock all at once.
Yes.
So
great idea.
I could get out the number of hard covers that are coming in the first week, more than likely.
Even though we do have a 60,000 square foot.
If you do that with the soft covers, then you can get out for the metal editions too. Like they can get into the process.
Yeah.
Most of them. We have 2 different metal editions on the hardcover, so
I didn't realize that
would have to be separate. Yeah, there's a regular metal edition and a jeweled metal edition on the hardcover.
Deb, can you talk about? Give me 1 second. I got to step out for a second. Can you give a little update on She Gatecrasher for everybody? Yep.
Absolutely. So, new print. How do we say this? A new old printer. So we Gatecrasher is being printed by the same press that did Return of the Warrior and the She Way the Warrior omnibus. But we were dealing with them with a broker, and now we're dealing directly with them. So it's a whole bunch of new people, and a whole new learning process as far as dealing with the files, the digital files, and corrections, and finding not necessarily mistakes, but things that we would like to do differently. So there's been a slower process than usual, getting things correct, but they're correct now. Yay. So we were, as often happens, and I'm sure both of you gentlemen have had this happen too, we get quoted one amount of time. Oh yeah, once the files are in, I'll have the books to you in 2 weeks. And then we plan for 2 weeks, and suddenly it's not 2 weeks, it's 3 to 4. Yeah. So that is what has happened. I was told that once we finalized the files that and went through all the corrections and changes that needed to be made to fit their specs and yada 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 yada, that basically we would have books between the 15th and the 20th, and now they're telling me October 1st, and I was not happy. So I have been going back and forth, and I was told that the hardcover is what was holding everything up, and I'm like, well, then don't ship me the hardcover yet, ship me everything else. So that's what we're kind of finding out. Everything else should be put into work hopefully Monday. The coins have already been put into work. We're just quibbling about some pricing differences that between what I was originally quoted way back when and now, but for the most part, those are in work. Monday, all of the stretch goals will go into work, and that's with a local printer, so all that stuff will get turned around real quick. The shirts will go into work next week. The rough cut will go into work next week. The blank cover will go into work next week. And all of the foil. Thank you, TJ. Yes, don't piss me off. Ask Billy, he knows all about that. But the foil editions will probably be put into work toward the end of the week, but also get put into work next week. So we're all the stuff that's getting put into work next week is all local people. So that will all start happening a lot faster. So with a little luck, everything will be in by the time the books come in,
Right.
with the exception of metal editions.
I have 3 questions. First off,
go for it.
Deb, did you do this so it would look like it's totally planned that all this is happening at once? Because it's brilliant. It's really good.
It is all happening at once.
That's what I'm saying. It's really good. It looks like it was planned, and I know what kind of work that took you. The second thing is I do have to bolt. I got to go pick up Ro. And the third thing is,
tell her we said hello, please.
Yes, give her our love.
I'll be glad to. Now, here's the other question. Did you guys hear my family downstairs screaming?
No.
I'm surprised you didn't hear them from your house, Billy. They're watching the cricket. And
cricket is huge. I did not know how huge cricket is.
And the cute thing is they say it has rules. It's just so charming.
Such a stupid sport.
It clearly has no rules. I've watched it. Ed Rosina's dad is just, I mean, it's a big tournament and Guyana's in the tournament. So
the only thing I know about it is from the Seinfeld commercial where he said, well, that's a wicked googly or something. Whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. My brother and I, there was a movie called Hope and Glory.
Yeah.
Great World War II era film. And my brother and I learned how to throw a googly from that movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's no curling, but it's got a bright future.
It is.
All right, old bean. I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Absolutely. Have a great evening, Deb. Thanks for being on. And I can't wait to see this. Oh, I do have one more question. Are you guys still doing the Super Treasury Giant Size for the second half of Gatecrasher for New York Comic Con?
Well, Jeff, I'm glad you asked.
Actually, that's a really great question, because not only are we going to be doing the second half for New York Comic Con, but in between now and then, we will be doing the metal edition and jewel edition and metal edition and jewel metal edition of the first half, which I promised everyone during San Diego and dropped the ball because so much else was going on, like getting Gatecrasher taken care of and shipping out all the other stuff. And then we had a lot of hiccups with the San Diego books. And I'm sure it's because everybody's rushing to get stuff done. And so just hiccup after hiccup.
And another thing for for the next camp. So we are also going to be releasing the 25th anniversary of our Wolverine She crossover. Very limited. What?
And it's 2 anniversaries.
Did you forget your anniversary, Billy?
Witchblade.
No? That's 3. Our anniversary is next week. But
congratulations.
The 30th anniversary of Senryaku is this year.
Yes, Senryaku's 30th anniversary.
So
We're a big thing with that.
I put out the wooden edition, and which we called the bamboo edition.
Bamboo cover.
And the pearl cover for San Diego, which went beautifully. So those will be offered on our website probably this month. And then Billy and I, and for those of you in the chat, and I can't see the chat, I don't know why I can't see it this time, but I can't. But Billy and I were talking about redoing, in addition to those two big, omnibus editions, we were talking about doing the individual issues as anniversary editions with guest appearance covers from the interior of the book, with Senryaku #1 having the cover done by Jim Lee, with the Jim Lee art from the interior.
I'd love to do facsimile editions, but with those variant covers that everyone told me to do back in the day, and I didn't. I mean, I had Jim Lee, I had, Adam Hughes, I had all these, and I'm like, nah, I don't know. So I love it, even with the old ads in it and stuff like that. I think it would be fun. But anyway, Old Bean, I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
See y'all later.
Bye. So going forward, hello for the 201 people watching us right now on I guess on YouTube and Twitter and stuff. Thank you all for joining us. But my goal with this is I'd like to create a production company, and with a great group of people, you people right here, and maybe we become the production company to help comic creators and to see their visions brought to the silver screen as they envision it, with their having total control of the way the book looks, the movie looks, the way the way the soundtrack is, the way the cast of characters are, the way the characters sound, and to take these comic book existing stories, like a Bone, like She, like Sakura, like Zombie Sama, like Dead Inspector, like She Gatecrasher, and to bring them Lady Death, to bring them into films as their creators envisioned it. And this is the only way I can see us, and it's really possible, everyone, that
Can you please stop saying that?
What
you keep saying that it's the only way.
Okay, it's not the only way, but it's the most plausible and pragmatic way to bring She to the silver screen as I envision it. Tired of arguing with people making her become Anna Lane, and that it's too Japanese, and that she has to kill Arashi at the end. I'm tired of that stuff. And we've met some cool producers, actually. We met a really cool producer we're talking to right now. So maybe that'll happen.
Who is a She fan and wouldn't change a thing.
And he's awesome. He's great.
You need to say that as you're making it sound like you hate everyone.
And I think
there's one particular producer, Mark, who I love. Yeah. No, Mark he's who another Mark, not another Mark, who's great, who we'd love to make a film with, and we're talking to him. But this is something to look into.
It could happen. Bring it in. Let's just say it could happen, and
it's right now just exceptionally tough too. Just in general, but I think, and the interesting thing about it is that, like you said, it isn't the only way, and both ways aren't mutually exclusive either.
Right.
It's like you can start, if you say, for instance, you were to take maybe something I created and we started doing something like that, it's like that material, before you release it, it's like you can start sharing that with all the people throughout the entertainment industry, and they can be like, we really like that. Stop where you are and we'll pick it up and we'll go with it from there. So it's like there's a lot of permutations, that it's not just an either or. So I think that the idea is, and this was actually part of the when I founded my company, part of my pitch to my investors was that I feel like one of the only ways that I've been able to determine that is a reliable way to get a Hollywood development person to move on a project is that if they're afraid they're going to miss it.
Yeah.
It's that FOMO of it's like FOMO as a business principle, I think, is in full effect out here, and it always has.
And therein, you've just used AI as another tool. It's just to make the trailer and not do another thing, and use it as
trailers, sizzle reels, couple of scenes, And it's like, and the idea of, one of the things, I just love the idea of that it just keeps the creators on board and involved. They should be producers on their own work at a minimum.
100%, because I've had and something, and maybe with She, like I said, I didn't want to give away too much, but we're in talks with somebody about making she into a film.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Ran. I could do whatever I want with Ran.
Yeah.
Craziest, sickest stuff ever. I could take Ran, Revenge of the Warrior, make that into a little small, little film.
Yeah.
But what you just mentioned, you got me thinking. Oh man, forgive me. Sorry.
I hope I didn't give you another sleepless night.
No, it was no. Trust me, I can't do myself all on my own. Anyway, I have to go to the airport to get Matthew.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
I should go.
I have to drive. But guys, thank you all. We're gonna have more. We're gonna have more on this. Mark and I
appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for being on, Mark.
Yes. And I just love the idea that I think now is a time that we actually can do these things that we always talked about.
Yeah.
And that is use the power of technology. Let's make, AI. Let's make it a tool.
You know what? I think, especially when you read the chat, because before I switched out to read the chat, it's kind of just to have a full circle moment. The question that we asked at the beginning, right? Tyrant or tool? It's both or neither.
Yeah.
It all depends on
us.
Where the lawyers leave everything.
Yep.
And how much control property owners can retain and use it.
Yeah. And
so
I think,
we're in an interesting place right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there is enough established intellectual property law that just extending it, I think, is going to, it's going to work out in the favor of the creators, because that's how copyright law seems to have gone over the last, couple hundred years that it's been around. So I think and the Anthropic case is going to be really, it's the first precedent. So I think it's gonna be impactful as the companies go forward.
Yeah, heck, we can even do Indiegogos and Kickstarter to help fund the Ran film.
Oh yeah, there's enough interest, and as you said, it's like, the ultimate thing is the final output good? Is it worthy? Like, is it attract an audience? Because that's the determining factor of any piece of entertainment, regardless of how it's produced.
Well, that's the cool thing about crowdfunding too, is that they'll let you know if it sucks, so they won't come back. You got to make it good.
Well, I'll circle back with you guys. I'm talking to Jeff. I think he's finally got me off my butt to do a crowdfunded comic for something I created. He's been after me for years to do it. And when I did the Dead Inspector video for him, I just was going through my mind about, like, you know what? F it. Let's just do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So a word of advice, Mark.
Yeah. Yes.
Or I don't know if it's advice or just chit chat, but it will be one of the scariest things you do.
Yes.
And it will never not be scary, because to this day, no matter how many Billy and I have done, and obviously we haven't done all that many, but we've done enough that we have a nice track record.
Yeah.
And that day, we're both nervous wrecks.
Yeah.
Will they show up again? Will they come back? Was the last one good enough? Do they still, do they want more? Do they still have, do all you great people out there still, have the faith in us that you did at the last one? And then that first night, it's like,
yeah,
they showed up,
I know. I'm not really looking forward to that night.
Yeah. No, I just know that it's universal. I'm sure Brian, last time we spoke to Brian and Fran, same thing.
Yeah.
If anybody shouldn't worry about it, it's them, but they still have that, it's a combination, I'm sure, for them too, the jitters of nerves and excitement, but
sure.
Man.
Well, I think, just from the outside looking into, I think the relationship through things like this podcast and through social media that you guys have with your fans is the best. I just don't see a lot of it anywhere else. And I think that's what, for my money, is what drives that loyalty to the Kickstarters and to the product and the property and everything. And I just think it's amazing and I love it.
Agreed. Yeah, we're very fortunate that we have amazing fans / friends out there that
they're like our family now.
They really
Yeah,
are.
really.
At
For
least
sure.
that's how we feel. I don't know how you guys feel, but welcome to the Tucci family.
They just don't want to have to take it's a whose turn is it to take the garbage out?
Well, it's always my turn to take the garbage out. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you all for joining us. We're going to start talking about this some more.
Yeah.
This channel, the Pop XP, Niall is stepping away from it because he's just too busy. So we'll be taking it over, turning into the official Tucci Troopers channel. So this is where we're going to start talking about all of our products. We'll have guests on like we're having, like same thing, same format with crowdfunding comics. Same format as the Pop XP, but more orientated towards us and getting our product out there and talking to people and having a lot of fun, a lot of cool conversations, fun conversations, themed conversations, maybe even we even think about having a Halloween party, a virtual Halloween party.
Oh my God, that'd be
yeah,
so
we all
cool.
dress up and we all drink and have a Halloween party. Since Debbie
You got to get a spirit Halloween background.
Why do I always have to be the bad guy?
You're not the bad guy. You're the.
You said I won't let you. That's why we're not having one. I won't let you.
No, you will let me, but it would be, you'd be mad.
It's not a good time, and let's
not
just
a good
leave
time.
it at that.
Yeah, we're busy, which is good. So anyway, guys, we love you all. Delvey right here, you're awesome, man. Billy and Dev have always been family with the fans, even far back in the old website.
Yes,
that was great.
Yes.
Chris Solof's mom was on it. Oh, it was so great.
Oh,
those were the days.
So cool.
Anyway, so we're gonna do that with this channel, and we're actually gonna start bringing our fans on. We have a cool Tucci Troopers brain trust that we engage with the fans and ask them, because my head's always exploding with ideas, and Debbie and I might not see eye to eye sometimes. So it's good to have you guys come in and we ask you guys what you think.
Based on his social media, you need to get Isaac to do a cooking show.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just freaking I follow that guy, like when he's talking about what he made, and like we were talking about he made something that looks so delicious, and I'm just like, how did you do this?
Good idea. We should put him to work, honey.
What that man, we call Isaac our brother. Again, everybody's family, right? So, well, not it. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so Isaac, our kids call him Uncle Isaac. So Isaac comes to our house, and he's the only now, most people know me for cooking.
Yeah.
Isaac is the only person when he comes to our house, he's like, no, you're not cooking.
Well, that, and it's, and it's like since I follow you guys too, I live vicariously through your holiday decoration photos.
Oh, thank you.
I love those. I always love your Christmas tree.
Which one?
He does a great job. Yeah, we have
well, that's a hard choice, I mean, it's really fantastic. I think I was at your house once, like 25 or 30 years ago, and I just have great memories of it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Anyway, so
it's been a very long time. It sounds like you have to come back.
Yeah. Well, I told Jeff I wanted to come to New York, and it doesn't have to be around the convention. Like, let's just do it. I'll just come. We'll do
let
stuff.
us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Isaac's coming for a week. He'll be with us between like New York and Baltimore.
Oh, fantastic!
So we got to put in the work. Let him cook something for us.
He does.
All right,
and he taught me how to smoke meat. I've never smoked meat before. And you know what else, Isaac? I'm sharing Isaac's secrets. I don't know how he feels about that. Isaac said to me one day, you can age your own meat, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. The difference it makes is incredible too. And it's as simple as taking it out of the package, blotting it dry, and salting both sides and putting it on a rack in your refrigerator.
Yep.
For a couple of days and just letting the outsides of the meat dry out a little bit. It intensifies the flavor, and you get that perfect, especially if you do it on a cast iron, for those of you who like to cook out there. The crust you get on it, and I was like, Isaac. Mwah.
Oh my goodness. I got it. Now it's like, now I have a project for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right,
guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Deb and I will be back next week. Well, next Thursday, September 11th. So Maybe we'll even do a September 11th stream. I don't know. I got some with the Legion going on.
Can we do a stream that's not September 11th and just do a
well,
stream?
the 10th is our anniversary. Maybe next Friday. We'll come back next Friday.
Yeah.
Do this on Friday.
But no, back to
what?
I don't understand that why we can't do a stream on September 11th that doesn't have that.
Yeah, we could do that and
maybe doesn't have to talk about September 11th. By the end of the evening, most people I think need a reprieve.
Yeah.
It's a
well, I have
it's a
footage
difficult day
that
for a lot of
one of
people.
our cop friends took that no one's ever seen before. I have footage of. He gave me he gave me a VHS tape that I have. I think I actually converted it to DVD too. So,
boy.
Anyway, all right, guys, thank you all. We will see you this week. Thank you for supporting She Gatecrasher. That book will be, like I said, the end of this month. We'll get it. We start fulfillment. Everything is done with that book. Everything is going to the printer or at the printer. We will be launching maybe next week or the week after. Will be this 25th anniversary of Wolverine She Special Edition Limited. Then a week after that, we're going to launch Ran, Revenge of the Warrior, and something else we're doing now to speed up the process is that all of these books will be limited. So there's not a finite numbers of say we have a variant cover. I have a variant cover by the great Dan Lawless. That'll be limited to whatever. We'll figure out what it is. Maybe 400 copies.
You're not explaining yourself well, honey. It's what Billy's trying to say is that when we do the campaigns, there will be a finite amount. We've never done that before.
We never done that.
But we're going to try it and see what happens.
Because then we'll know what our numbers are.
We're going to kind of try to figure out how much of everything we should have, and which will actually help speed up production.
There you go.
At the end of the campaign. So we'll try it. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to Jeff and Vijay at Baltimore Comic-Con about what we've been talking about today, too. So, all right, guys, thank you all for joining us. Have a great weekend. I don't know if anyone's streaming or launching anything tonight. I'm going fishing tomorrow in the morning to raise some money. And then we have a birthday party tomorrow night, right? Mark, what do you got going
tomorrow
on?
Afternoon.
I am going through my bookshelves back here. Everything has been pulled off, and I'm only putting back the things I absolutely want to keep.
Yeah, sell stuff. You're not in the inventory business, are you?
No. Well, I'm finding like all kinds of cool comic book stuff back from when I worked with Jeff at Fan. You know, I was like, I've got like graphic novels and trade paperbacks that are 30 years old that I don't know if they're worth anything or not. You know, and it's like I read them once way back when. So, you know, I'm going through that and really just you know what's interesting is that I'll give you guys the information is that I connected with a dear friend of mine who I've known for quite a long time out here, whose father ran a movie theater in a rural town in South Carolina, and he passed away several years ago. And she found out after he passed away that you know he'd run this theater 50, 60 years, long time. Never threw away any poster or piece of marketing material that he got from the studios. And it's all like in pristine condition. Some of it's still in the original packaging from the marketing companies that would send the posters and all that stuff. So I'm working with her to sell some of it, you know? So it's like, and I'm just kind of like, I want to sell this. I need to sell this, but I want to keep it at the same time. So it should be fun. It's like it's a walk down memory lane of movie history. So it's really cool. I'll let you guys know about it when there's stuff up.
I was muted. Well, sounds cool. Yeah, I'd love to see that stuff too, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Just to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can do a show and sell live.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys. Well, have a good weekend. Be careful going to get Matthew and getting home, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Let's continue this conversation, guys. Let us know if you guys are AI curious when it comes to turning comics to film. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys.
Okay, take it easy.
Okay, bye, hon. Oh, let me do a little out. Hang on.
Yeah.
Here's our end screen. Goodbye.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.